This guy is saying that Gary Brecka is saying that 44% of mutations of women have a gene mutation that hinder them from the body processing folic acid to folate. That's untrue. The actual number of people who have a mutation that prevents them from processing folic acid to folate is 0.0005%, or 1 in 200,000.
Oh look, the CDC.gov website says MTHFR gene variants are common. Gene variants are common and normal. In fact, there are more people in the United States who have 1 or 2 copies of the MTHFR C677T variant than people who do not have it. And if you look further down, it even says the C677T variant is often referred to as a gene mutation. However, it's so common that it should actually be called a gene variant. So I don't know where he gets his numbers from, or if he's just making stuff up at this point to confirm his own bias, but there it is. Let's see what else he has to say.
You don't need to find that on a gene mutation. You can find that by checking a homocysteine level.
This is a homocysteine test. This is all that it shows. Just tells you the result and if it was high or low. That's it. But it's not going to tell you what's contributing to the high homocysteine levels, whether it's certain gene mutations or the dozens of other factors. It can be genetic factors, it can be nutritional deficiencies besides B9 like B6 and B12, it can be lifestyle factors like smoking or excessive alcohol consumption, physical activity even, it could be medical conditions like hypothyroidism, could be certain medications, there's differences in terms of age and gender, and even just their diet. So yeah, it's a great test if you just want to get started and kind of have an idea whether or not there are some issues, whether those are maybe methylation issues or that there should be other, diet and lifestyle changes that are necessary. But that's it. Let's continue and see what else this guy has to say.
2, folic acid is absolutely found in nature. And if any of you have ever taken biochemistry lab, you probably remember the experiment in biochemistry lab where you were breaking down the plants to find the folate in it. You saw the little peak before, and your professor said that's folic acid because folic acid is part. But we make folic acid synthetically, like all vitamins are made synthetically in a lab somewhere.
Oh look, this is the Mayo Clinic website. Folate is found mainly in dark green leafy vegetables, beans, peas, and nuts. Fruits rich in folate include oranges, lemons, bananas, melons, and strawberries. The synthetic form of folate is folic acid. Folate is the natural form. It is also known as folinic acid. The synthetic man-made form that is not found in nature is folic acid. But let's continue.
Many vitamins are made from genetically modified bacteria or yeast pumping out vitamin B1, B9, B12, whatever. They're all synthetically made.
Okay, they're not all synthetically made.
Because we don't just make them naturally. Even if they say and show fruits and vegetables on the cover, it's very cute. They're all synthetically made. The vast majority of vitamins are actually made overseas, specifically China, and brought into the United States. And there's 4 large processing centers in the United States where they can put the vitamins together any combination you want.
This is Dr. Wallach's plant mineral complex. It contains 77 minerals from prehistoric plants in their unaltered form. Or how about this? This is vitamin C from ground up whole cherry powder. All supplements are not synthetically made in a lab. He's just making up stuff at this point.
Money, like for bariatric vitamins if you had bariatric surgery, which are really probably no different than taking a couple of Centrum Silvers. Or you can spend a lot of money for methylated vitamins because you buy this nonsense that he says, and you'll find them no better than not.
So this is Systemic Formulas BioCell. This is a methylation donor methylated supplement with a bunch of other stuff in there specifically for methyl donors. Methylated multi-nutrient formulas include the methylated versions of certain nutrients. So saying that this is the same as a standard vitamin is like saying an electric car is the same as a gasoline car. It's utter nonsense. It'd be like saying it takes the same amount of effort to build a fighter jet as it does to build an RC plane.
Who needs vitamins? Well, there's several classes of people who actually need vitamins that we can say need vitamins. Is the average person? No.
I'm going to have fun with this one. So, this is the from the U.S. States Department of Agriculture. It's 2009. Percentage of the U.S. population not meeting the RDA for these nutrients. Selenium 15%, phosphorus 21, riboflavin 22, niacin 24, thiamine 28, vitamin B12 30%, copper 31, iron 34, vitamin B6 35, zinc 42, vitamin C 48%, vitamin A 55%, magnesium 68%, calcium 73%, folate 75%, and vitamin E 86%. And I've talked about this many times before. This is soil nutrient depletion. So this is the Journal of the American Center for Nutrition. And they even indicate on their research that due to soil nutrient depletion from things like monoculture, monocropping, synthetic fertilizers and pesticides and tilling negatively impacting soil health, studies show that around 6 to 38% reduction in calcium, vitamin C, magnesium, phosphorus, riboflavin, and iron levels in 43 crops between 1950 and 1999. And if you think it's gotten better over the years, it really hasn't. It's gotten worse. GMO, synthetic cheap fertilizers, monocropping, and pesticide use have all become prevalent and widespread. I don't know, what are the buzzwords the kids use these days? Misinformation, disinformation? It's coming from this guy here. I mean, shouldn't he just be prescribing medications to people or something?
People who are pregnant or going to become pregnant need folic acid. It has been absolutely shown to decrease spina bifida in the United States.
He's right. Folate B9 is essential for pregnancy. It's very important to prevent birth defects. But you can get folate, you can get the folinic acid, you can get the natural form or a methylated form as a supplement. And if you are going to take a form, the methylated form would be ideal.
If you've had weight loss surgery or any surgery that rearranges your gut so that your stomach and duodenum are disconnected, you will need to have some B12 and probably some iron.
Yeah, he probably knows a lot more about surgery than I do.
People who have severe trouble absorbing vitamins, people with Crohn's disease, for example, they will need vitamins. And finally, people who are on...
Those with digestive issues like Crohn's or other digestive issues could benefit especially from additional nutrition in supplement form, also from things like digestive bitters potentially or digestive enzymes, things that are going to help enhance the ability of the body to break down and absorb those nutrients that are going to the stomach. Sometimes things like HCl, depending on whether it's gallbladder issues, there could be ox bile, bile salts, things like that. That could also be beneficial. It really depends on the individual and what's going on with their body.
Diets where they're not getting a vitamin. Vegans need a supplement with B12, as an example.
Correct there. Vegans do need to supplement with B12 because they're not getting it through their diet, and it's a very important and essential nutrient.
With pernicious anemia need B12 and can only take it from injection. So, and all of those, they're synthetic. So, when they say it's horrible with spreading folic acid on all of these grains, yes, it has decreased vitamin B deficiency. Yes, it has helped people who are alcoholic actually get some B1 so that they don't develop something called Wernicke-Korsakoff.
Yeah, so the issue here is that those with certain mutations, like the MTHFR mutation, have trouble converting folic acid to its active form, L-methylfolate. And the problem is you can't just pile on more folic acid in order to make up for your body's inability. All that's going to do potentially is further raise homocysteine levels, cause more health issues. You can increase your intake of folate B9 natural folate-rich foods. That could work. Or you can look at taking an L-methylfolate, an activated form of folate. That'll help. But just consuming more synthetic folic acid sprayed foods is not going to help.
Yes, doing that is decreased neural tube defects. You do not need to buy expensive methylated vitamins from wherever because you probably just don't need them.
If you have high homocysteine levels and get checked for, through a methylation test to have an MTHFR gene mutation that can affect the absorption of certain things like folic acid, then it's going to be beneficial to get a methylated supplement and to, in the case of folic acid and MTHFR, to reduce your intake of folic acid sprayed food so that it's not interfering with that absorption of the natural folate. Medical myth busting, definitely not your space. Stay in your lane, prescribe your meds.